Hey, I'm Jack Strickland and I am a sequential artist, meaning that I do comics and storyboarding. The dating life, it's weird because there's like a lot happening, but also like not a lot happening at the same time. Where I feel like I'm talking to a lot of people, but also not necessarily following up with a lot of people. Some of it's just like your run-of-the-mill sort of like dating app sort of situation where you like have a talking stage and then you just stop talking to each other. But then I feel like a lot of it is like COVID being making things weird and you have to sort of be cautious. And so you only really want to go for the things that seem like they could be worth it and not like more of the just like, I'm going to go have a good time because dating is fun. I use Tinder and Grindr pretty much. I prefer Tinder, but there is something about Grindr where it's just like convenient to see everyone that's around like all the time and be able to strike up a conversation anytime without matching. On Tinder, if you match with someone a few months and like you don't immediately start talking, like a few months later, I feel like you would never start talking. Where on Grindr, like you could see someone and then a few months later start talking to them because they're just sort of like always on your screen. Like on Grindr when you get a sketchy message, you're like, this is fake. I'm normally looking for dates. I've met a lot of people through Grindr where it was like I feel like you can meet quality people on either place. There's just like more of a concentration of like people looking for dates on Tinder, where people on Grindr are looking for like hookups. On Tinder, it's very much like I feel like the problem is getting the conversation going because it's like you're like hey and you're like hey and then they're like what are you into and you sort of have like the same conversation every time. On Grindr it's a lot more like straight to the point, like they're either like what are you looking for or they're like here's my dick. I feel like on Tinder even if someone was looking for a hookup they would still sort of start the conversation like hey, what's up? How are you? What are you into? Being able to see like everyone who's actively looking for something in your area definitely like changes your perception of like what's available to you and what other people are looking for. Sometimes it's like encouraging, sometimes it's discouraging. So the only other option is really like gay bars, and I am personally not like trying to go out to bars right now. So I first used Tinder just because I was very like curious as to what was out there. And I'm like from a very rural small town. So I was just kind of like maybe people who I'm not expecting to be gay or like on these apps looking for people. I feel like I have more conversations on Grindr, so it's more like immediately entertaining. But I think I like have made more connections with people on Tinder.